Hokage Saga, Invincible Power by Sacrificing Emotional Intelligence. Episode 81, but Naruto-sama demanded, saying that he should act like some, and don't let others see the flaws. Okay, I see. Shiraishi waved his hand. He only sacrificed emotional intelligence, not IQ. How to make a choice that is beneficial to him, Shiraishi knows. Why did Shiraishi stop all these people here, and after defeating them, hang them from a tree? One is because Sarutobi deliberately designed Shiraishi. Shiraishi did this, a small revenge, and the ape flying sun chop would also understand. The second reason is that talent points can be obtained. Shiraishi will not do things that do not make sense. As for saying that he stopped all the people, it was just that Shiraishi wanted to negotiate the price with Ape Fei. Shiraishi is very clear who is the point of attention in this Naka ninja exam. At this time, the discussion between the two squads was also over. We'll be like that later. Good. Shiraishi looked at the two squads opposite. Forget it, in the case that we used to be classmates, I will give you a choice, you guess the boxing, and the team that wins I can directly let them pass. The one left, hand over the scroll. When these words fell, everyone suddenly fell into sluggishness. Is it such a joke? Guessing the punch determines the victory or defeat? What is this operation? Especially the Naka Shinobi examiner. What did you say just now? Said to act like a little, you promised to do well, but now come to a guess and pass, this is clearly a problem, okay? The Naka ninja examiner immediately gave a lot of talent points to Shiraishi. People in the trees? What for? You weren't like that to us just now. Why is it so nice to them? Non-Konoha ninjas can still understand. After all, he and the others were not familiar with Shiraishi before, and they didn't even know each other. Shiraishi couldn't have treated them differently. But Konoha's ninja couldn't understand it. They are all ninjas of one village, why are they treated differently? It's so unfair. Especially the Shino squad. If you want to talk about classmates, the three of them are also Shiraishi's classmates. And Naruto, Shikamaru, they are different? Not at all. These people on the tree once again provided Shiraishi with a lot of talent points. After that, there was Shikamaru. In order to defeat Shiraishi, Shikamaru made a fine design, and I don't know how many brain cells died, and now it comes out like this, as long as you guess the punch, you can pass. So what did you do before? Have children ever played the family? It's all in vain. What do we do now? Naruto looked at Shikamaru. Even Sasuke looked at Shikamaru. In terms of strength, Sasuke has always been very confident. After learning multiple shadow doppelgangers, Naruto also had confidence. But both of them trusted Shikamaru's IQ. Agreeing with Shiraishi's decision is the best option. Shikamaru sighed and said, to be honest, according to the plan we just made, with the six of us working together, if we face Shiraishi before, there may be a 50% chance of success, but Shiraishi has become stronger. What is the current strength of Baishur? I don't know at all. Maybe our chances are only 30%, or even less. The high probability is that all the squads will not be able to pass. But if you guess the boxing, at least you can guarantee that a squad will pass. Sakura hesitated. But in that case, between us, there must be a squad to withdraw. That's right. So how do we choose? Did you pass, or did we? Naruto interrupted everyone. What's there to think about? It's fair that we guess by our skills, and if we win, we pass, and if we lose, we hand over the scroll, isn't it? Don't think about so much, and there are none. Naruto is right, let's start, the exam time is coming to an end soon. Okay. The first to step forward were Sakura and Ino. A pair of wrongdoers and rivals. They were very good friends before, but because of Sasuke's presence, the relationship broke down. Both men were terrifyingly precocious. He had just entered the ninja school, and he was not even 10 years old, so he had a conflict, because of this kind of thing. Rock, paper, scissors. Scissors. Stone. I won. Ino jumped up excitedly. Dingji, Shikamaru, come on, you must succeed. Ino was happy to win. But even happier is that Ino won Sakura. Sakura was not very happy to return to her previous position. Correspondingly, I was not very happy to lose, and even less happy I lost to Ino. I'm sorry. It's okay. Naruto patted his chest and said, we'll definitely win. The second to play were Sasuke and Dingji. Rock, paper, scissors. Cloth. Stone. It was Sasuke who won this time. Great. Naruto laughed, and Sakura's face finally recovered a little, but she was still worried. It's up to me. Naruto stepped forward, and across from Shikamaru. Sakura, don't worry, I'll definitely win it to you. Our squad will definitely pass this exam. No problem. I said it. After Naruto finished speaking, He turned his head to look at Shikamaru with an expression that was more serious than ever. Shikamaru, let the horse come. And Shikamaru didn't look at Naruto, Shikamaru looked at Shiraishi. Suddenly, Shikamaru noticed that Shiraishi's gaze kept looking at the bush not far away, as if there was something hidden in that bush. Then I thought of Shiraishi's sudden change of attitude. Gradually, Shikamaru understood something. Is it the examiner? Because I didn't want Shiraishi to block all the candidates outside, I communicated with Shiraishi, so Shiraishi relaxed the criteria for passing, and we didn't need to beat him, but let us guess and decide a squad. At this time, Shikamaru remembered some of Asuma's previous words. This time Konoha, many people will come. These people are all here to see Sasuke Uchiha. So Shikamaru understood. Himself and the others, it is not worth those examiners to negotiate with Shiraishi, it is because Sasuke will let those examiners go. The one who can change Shiraishi's mind may be Naruto-sama. Shiraishi deliberately looked at the bush, just to make me notice. In this way, everything is understood. Shikamaru shook his head. Okay, I know what to do. Naruto looked at Shikamaru with an extremely serious expression. Shikamaru, are you ready? Ready, let's go. Good. Both raised their arms. Rock paper scissors. Stone. Scissors. Shikamaru judged Naruto's small move when Naruto was about to strike, and took the initiative to choose the scissors that would lose to Naruto, allowing Naruto to win this guessing competition. I won. Naruto jumped up. Episode 82, Naruto, congratulations. Shikamaru looked at the cheering Naruto 3 and held out his hand. Shikamaru, I'm sorry, but we really want to win, and we'll cheer with our share. Okay, come on. Shiraishi gave way. Shiraishi, then we passed? Shiraishi nodded and did not speak. Watching the three of Naruto pass. After that, Shiraishi looked at Shikamaru and the three. Want to try it? We are not Shiraishi's opponents. Shikamaru shook his head. This is our scroll. For this matter, Shikamaru has already put it down. Even if Shikamaru is very salty, but this time the Naka Shinobi exam, Shikamaru still wants to pass, but Shikamaru still sacrificed himself for the sake of the overall situation, so that Naruto's team got a chance. Originally, Shikamaru could have won just now. Naruto's guessing fist is not clever. Shiraishi took the scroll and threw it into the lake. Of all the scrolls that were collected, Shiraishi left only two. A scroll of heaven, a scroll of earth. Suddenly, a bell rang. There are still 5 minutes until the end of the exam. Shiraishi glanced at the forest and turned his head towards the center area. It is no longer possible to have a squad here. The three of Ino followed Shiraishi. But they belonged to the ones who did not pass the exam because they did not have scrolls. And as for those in the tree, it seems to be forgotten. A gust of wind blows and the leaves fall. The atmosphere was very bleak. Who will let us down? Here's a man. The Naka Shinobi examiner returned to the Hokage building as quickly as possible. Naruto-sama. How? The Naka ninja examiner told Sarutobi Hinata all the process of the matter. Guess the boxing? The corner of Ape Fizan's eyes twitched, and several black lines appeared on his forehead. But Shikamaru should have seen it. Only then did he voluntarily lose to Naruto. Sarutobi walked out of the Hokage building. Since the exam is over, then I, the Hokage, should also go over and take a look. Now these ninjas are the future of Tsunahide Village and Konoha. Iruka appeared in front of everyone. Originally, the examiner was Mitarashi Red Beans. Shiraishi knew that Mitarashi Red Beans should be the power of the spell seal. Because of the influence of the large snake pill. But Iruka is just auxiliary. The chief examiner turned into a moonlight blast. Ahem. A light cough. Shiraishi glanced at the moonlight wind. It is indeed very empty. Congratulations to you for passing the second session of the Chunin exam. Temari, Kankuro, Iai Luo, Shiraishi, Naruto, Sasuke, Sakura. Shiraishi looked at the moonlight blast at the same time, and the moonlight blast was also looking at Shiraishi. No, it should be said that all the staff present were looking at Shiraishi. Because what Shiraishi did was too shocking. One person blocked the last level of the second session, blocked all the candidates, snatched their scrolls without saying anything, and hung them from the tree in a humiliating position. Unprecedented. Nothing like this has ever happened in any village. A genius in the true sense of the word. But eccentric personality. This time everyone finally saw it. Congratulations again. A sparse round of applause rang out. Because there aren't many people. The third exam will be held in a month. This month, you will have plenty of time to prepare, and your opponents will be drawn today. Now, let me ask first, is anyone going to quit the third exam? No one raised their hand. The medicine man is dangling from a tree. Different from the anger of Copper Armor and Ken Masumi. The medicine master's mood is delicate. I didn't expect that such a genius appeared in Konoha again, and sure enough, the great ninja village. It's a pity, it's a civilian ninja. Lord Orochimaru should not look at it. But if you can take it to the lab, it's a good material. The medicine master looked at the center area, his eyes narrowed slightly. Good. Moonlight Swift nodded and said, in that case, let's start drawing lots, because there are 7 of you, there will be a bye. Come forward and draw your opponents. Irika pushed out a chest. The candidates stepped forward in turn. In fact, only 3 people were drawn to the lot, because the candidates for the 3 competitions were determined. The remaining 3, either pumped or empty. Naruto vs Kankuro. Temari vs Sakura. Sasuke vs Kankuro. Shiraishi Rinko. Shiraishi shrugged. Undoubtedly, this is yet another black box operation. But this time the black box operation did nothing bad for Shiraishi, so Shiraishi didn't say anything. Next, please Naruto-sama, to speak to us. Irika saw Naruto and Sakura and smiled with relief. One is what Irika has been worried about, and the other is doing very well in the ninja school, but Irika clearly knows that the ninja school and the ninja world are 2 completely different worlds. The road that Sakura can walk, it really is not long. For Sasuke, Irika was not worried. And Shiraishi, Irika is used to it. The first person in Konoha to realize Shiraishi's extraordinary talent was Irika. Ape Flying Sun Chopper walked out from behind. Naruto-sama. Hello everyone. Sarutobi smiled formulaically and gave a formulaic speech. Standard politician-style speech, the kind without the slightest loophole. It sounds like a lot of things are said, but if you think about it, you will find that there is actually nothing to say. This is the highest state of water, and it is also the skill that countless online novel authors aspire to. Before you know it, you steal the reader's money and make it undetectable. Shiraishi listened, and his eyelids couldn't help but fall. Shiraishi. Naruto saw it and quickly poked Shiraishi. Grandpa Naruto is talking, why are you dozing off? Is it too tired? Shiraishi glanced at the ape flying sun on the stage. No, I just listened, and I felt sleepy. Shiraishi's voice is not loud, but it is not small either. Ape Flying Sun Chopper heard it, and the corner of his eyes couldn't help but twitch. No EQ event trigger, talent +3. This kid, are you still blaming me? I have agreed to all your requests. Sarutobi shook his head, coughed dryly, and swallowed back a lot of unfinished words. Congratulations everyone, after a month, wait for everyone's performance. That's all I have to say. A much warmer applause rang out than before. Even those middle and upper patients couldn't help but show an expression of relief. These people looked at Shiraishi and couldn't help but give Shiraishi a thumbs up in their hearts. Because Shiraishi said what they wanted to say in their hearts, but they did not dare to say it. Shiraishi, come to the Hokage building tomorrow. Sarutobi said softly as he passed by Shiraishi. Yes, teacher. Episode 83, an examiner came to the head of the bridge and walked over to the shinobi who were hanging from the trees. I wanted to laugh, but I couldn't help but laugh. One may not make people feel too much. But with so many people hanging here, and a dog, it's really joyful. Lord Examiner, let us down. Finally someone remembered us. These subordinates want to cry without tears. Sorry, it's a little delayed, it's late. I'll let you guys off right away. Shiraishi entered the Hokage building. Sit down. Sarutobi pointed to the chair. Shiraishi sat down. The thing about this exam is indeed that I did something wrong, and I deliberately arranged a lot of opponents for you, I apologize. It's okay. Shiraishi waved his hand and said, they can't bother me much, they are all weak, but it's just that the scroll of heaven has always been a bit annoying, and besides, the meaning of this design is too obvious. Next time, teacher, if you still want to do this, I suggest you don't make such obvious flaws, it's really difficult not to see it. Ape Fairy Chopper's expression was a little embarrassed. Okay, don't talk about this, I have already taken the art of sealing. Shiraishi, you can choose a ninjutsu from above, but you can only choose one, the ninjutsu above is too dangerous, it is not good to learn more. Have you thought about it? Shiraishi shook his head. I haven't seen it, where do I know what ninjutsu is in it? I just saw that Naruto learned a ninjutsu from above, and suddenly became very powerful, so I was interested in what was on it. You want to learn the art of multiple shadow doppelgangers? Nope. Shiraishi said, the multiple shadow doppelganger technique has no effect on me, the shadow doppelganger technique is enough for me, what I lack now is aggressive ninjutsu, I realized it during the Naka Ninja exam this time. In the Forest of Death, if I had a relatively aggressive ninjutsu, I wouldn't need to bother so much. Ape Flying Sun thought of something. Speaking of ninjutsu, Shiraishi, how did you vacuum this ninjutsu? This, is the meeting gift given by the one-eyed old man last time. Meet and greet? That's right. Shiraishi nodded and said, speaking of which, teacher, you still owe me a meeting gift, right? So can I choose another ninjutsu from this? Nope. Sarutobi quickly refused. Shiraishi, I don't let you learn this ninjutsu. It's not because I'm stingy, I'm your teacher, I can't be stingy with you. It's just that the ninjutsu on this is really dangerous. It's not just that it's not easy to control, it will accidentally hurt other people, and some will damage their own bodies. Shaoli, do you remember? Remember. Shiraishi said, that ordinary watermelon head, I didn't expect to have such a strong strength, much stronger than that unworthy Ning Yuan. If you count the strength alone, it should be above the middle patience. That's right, but his strength is not his real strength. But because of the use of forbidden techniques, he forcibly overdrew his life force, and he also had to pay the price of serious injuries. After a battle, light can be seriously injured, heavy will die. Such an ability, Shiraishi will not want, right? Not yet. Shiraishi shook his head. That's right. Ninja is never a one-time profession, but to take your time, strength grows too fast, it is not a good thing. Mentality, experience, skills, these are equally important. Even more important. Apefei Richo was suddenly stunned, because he found that just when he was talking at length, there was a slight snoring sound from the white stone on the chair. Shiraishi actually fell asleep. Shiraishi. Ape Flying Sun Chopper suddenly became angry. Teacher. Shiraishi opened his eyes. How about it, teacher, have you picked it for me? Sarutobi stared at Shiraishi, but it was difficult to say anything. His mind kept recalling today's Zonin exam, and the words that Shiraishi said during his speech, even he heard it, and the people next to him must have heard it. No one refuted Shiraishi. Ape Flying Sun Chopper noticed that even some people, not only candidates, but also some upper and middle shinobi, showed an expression of approval, which made Ape Flying Sun Chop couldn't help but be a little ashamed. What attribute of ninjutsu do you want? Alright. Then you learn this. Sarutobi took the book of seals from the side, opened it, and rolled it to one of the parts. Water escape, water dragon bite burst. Since you already have vacuum jade, what you lack now is large-scale damage ninjutsu, which can both cause large-scale damage and concentrate on attacking a single opponent, which is more suitable for you. The advantages and disadvantages of ninjutsu, as well as the use scenarios, were all told to Shiraishi. Shiraishi frowned and thought for a moment. Can this be considered a forbidden technique? Ahem. Apefei Ri almost choked, and quickly coughed a few times. Shiraishi, what did you say? Shiraishi said, judging from this description, this is just a relatively powerful water denjutsu, which is not so much stronger than the water dragon bullet technique. The definition of forbidden art is either too powerful or hurts the body. Can this ninjutsu hurt the body? Ape Flying Sun Chop. Shiraishi, what do you understand? This is a must-kill technique of the second generation Hokage-sama. I don't know how much stronger than ordinary water den, and it is not comparable to water dragon bullets at all. Listed as a forbidden technique, absolutely no problem. Just wait until you learn. Sarutobi paused for a moment. Shiraishi, shouldn't it be that you don't have the confidence to learn this ninjutsu? Shiraishi looked at the Ape Flying Sun Chop and raised his eyebrows. Teacher, your agitation method is also too clumsy, and the first-year students of the ninja school will not be able to see it. Ahem. Ahem. However, feel free, just this ninjutsu will do. Anyway, ninjutsu this thing, not only depends on the ninjutsu itself, but also depends on who uses and this ninjutsu, in my hands, it will be stronger. Ape Flying Sun shook his head secretly. Fortunately, the second generation is no longer there. If it is still there, when he hears Shiraishi's evaluation of this ninjutsu, he will definitely jump up angrily, and then beat Shiraishi fiercely. By the way, let's give it to you this time. Ninjutsu on the Book of Seals, don't think about it. Now that you have two offensive ninjutsu, then I will teach you a defensive type of ninjutsu. As a ninja, the means of attack and defense must be available. Dirt escape, dive in the soil. Sarutobi introduced, this ninjutsu allows you to dive into the dirt, so that many of the enemy's attacks cannot hit you, and you can also move in the soil and launch surprise attacks on the enemy. Episode 84, a C-grade ninjutsu? Shiraishi stared at the Ape Flying Sun, and the meaning in his eyes was obvious. This is the meeting ceremony? It's so petty. A hint of embarrassment appeared on Apefei's face. Ahem, the level of this ninjutsu is not high, but it is very useful, and you will understand it after you learn it. Shiraishi closed his eyes. A skill tree appeared in Shiraishi's mind. Talent points remaining, 1068. This is what Shiraishi has accumulated during this time, mainly in the Death Forest examination hall. As soon as Shiraishi's thoughts moved, 200 talent points disappeared. Water escape, water dragon bite burst, 100. Tuduan, submarine, 100. Talent points remaining, 868. Shiraishi, I don't have time tomorrow. I can squeeze out half a day the day after tomorrow. If you encounter any problems, I can take you to the training ground at that time and help you solve it. No thanks. Don't use? Shiraishi nodded. These two ninjutsu, I have learned. Ape Flying Sun Chop stunned for a moment. Shiraishi learns ninjutsu quickly. This point Ape Flying Sun Chop knows. The soil diving this ninjutsu, Shiraishi will read the scroll will be, Ape Flying Sun Chop can accept. But the water dragon bites and explodes, and the Ape Flying Sun Chop can't accept it. This is one of the second Hokage's signature ninjutsu. A ninjutsu that can be included in the forbidden arts. Learned? Including water hose bite burst? That's right. Shiraishi said, so I doubt it even more. Is this really a forbidden technique? Ape Flying Sun Chop. Let's go. In a week, I'll give you a test. Watching Shiraishi's back disappear, Ape Flying Sun Chopper suddenly felt a little tired. Even the forbidden technique of water dragon biting explosion can be completely learned by reading the ninjutsu scroll once. It's unbelievable. After all, water dragon bite bursts are not the same as multiple shadow avatars. The technique of multiple shadow avatars, to put it bluntly, is only demanding, the difficulty is not high, and the number of seals is not even as good as the doppelganger, but the side effects are strong, and the requirements for chakra are high, and it will be listed as a forbidden technique. And Naruto just met this condition. Its own vortex physique, chakra is more. Also owns the 9 tails. Naruto learned the art of multiple shadow avatars after reading the Book of Seals, which was not surprising to everyone. But the water dragon bite is completely different. It's a very difficult ninjutsu. The requirements for sealing, the requirements for changes in the nature of chakra, and the requirements for chakra control are all very high. In this comparison, Sarutobi felt that his name as a doctor of ninja was simply a joke. Suddenly, Sarutobi realized a problem. Shouldn't Shiraishi be stronger than me after learning the ninjutsu of the water dragon bite? Wait, just now Shiraishi said that he has already learned these two ninjutsu. Ape Flying Sun Chop. A question floated in the Ape Flying Sun's head. What is the experience of a disciple who is stronger than himself without seriously teaching for a day? Ape Flying Sun sighed. Accepting a genius disciple is both beneficial. But there are also depressing times. Alas, deliberately suppressed Shiraishi for so long, cultivated Shiraishi's character, but I didn't expect it to fail. Shiraishi's character did not change, not to mention, the suppression was not successful. However, from this suppression process, it can be seen that Shiraishi's nature is not bad. Just like Asma said, Shiraishi just doesn't want to deal with people from the outside world. Because no one is worth dealing with Shiraishi. That's fine. As long as I live for one day, Shiraishi will always be on Konoha's side, and will not be tempted by outsiders and Danzo to fall into darkness. Ape Flying Sun Chopper couldn't help but think of the Big Snake Pill. The Big Snake Pill can also be regarded as a genius. It's a pity that it went astray. However, the talent of the Great Snake Pill is still far inferior to Baishur. Shiraishi walked out of the Hokage building. Little ninjutsu, wind escape, vacuum jade. Large-scale damaging ninjutsu, water escape, water dragon bite explosion. Mobile ninjutsu, earth escape, earth diving. Control ninjutsu, Narakumi no Jutsu. And the shadow doppelganger art, the transfiguration technique. Shiraishi ignored the avatar technique, and for Shiraishi now, the value of use is not much. Almost enough. Let's not rush to learn more ninjutsu, but consider advancing ninjutsu. Talent points have many functions, which can allow Shiraishi to master a ninjutsu in an instant, and can also help Shiraishi break the limiter and strengthen Shiraishi's physique and spiritual talent. Break through the limits of bloodlines. Ninjutsu can also be advanced and improved. With 1000 talent points, you can advance a ninjutsu. Enhance and optimize this ninjutsu. Now my talent points are 886, which is only more than 100 points away from 1000 talent points, and it is not difficult to collect. You can consider advancing the two ninjutsu of vacuum jade or earth submersion. The water dragon bite is not needed, the power is enough for the time being. The water dragon bite explosion itself is an extremely destructive ninjutsu, and the enemies that Shiraishi may have encountered back then, this ninjutsu can cause extremely serious damage to it. A figure appeared around the corner. Are you? Shiraishi looked at the man. Orochimaru raised his eyebrows. You know me? Remember, you were also at the entrance of the Death Forest a few days ago. It seems to be a ninja from Kusanagi village, right? Because you are special, I am a little more impressed. Special? That's right. Baishur nodded and said, men are very girly, I have seen them, women are very manly, I have also seen them, but it is the first time I have seen people like you who are not male or female to this extent. Seriously, I'm curious, are you male or female? Orochimaru. Why is this? Because the big snake pill is male, and the body selected by the big snake pill is a woman. Is that it? Does gender matter for ninjas? Isn't strength the most important? Strength is important, gender is important. Shiraishi said, how would you feel if you were a man in your heart, but your body was a woman, and now another man has done an unspeakable act on you and made you pregnant? Orochimaru. Involuntarily, the big snake pill imagined this picture and felt a little disgusting. But if you think about it, it seems quite exciting. So, do you want to have a baby with me? Shiraishi's eyes widened for a moment. This response surprised Shiraishi and successfully disgusted Shiraishi. It is worthy of being a big snake real pervert pill. You pervert. Not to mention that you are not male or female, just your appearance is ugly, who would like you like this? Seeing it makes people sick to their stomachs, disgusting, living in this world is a waste of air. The appearance of this big snake pill made Shiraishi realize a problem. That is, not everyone can get talent points from them. When this person is perverted enough, Shiraishi's emotionless words and behaviors will not cause him any harm. Okay, no kidding, let's get the truth. Orochimaru returned to his normal expression. Your talent, I see it, but Konoha suppressed your growth, you should have been stronger. Want to gain strength? I can give it to you, as long as you come with me. Episode 85, can you make me stronger? That's right. Shiraishi glanced at Orochimaru. You remind me of a joke. What joke? A shell lang and a squirrel are neighbors, and shell lang thinks that the pine cone eaten by the squirrel is too unpalatable, so he gives the squirrel a dung ball to let the squirrel improve his life. Orochimaru's eyes narrowed slightly. Are you mocking me for being a shell? Isn't it? Help me get stronger? By what? You are just a Kusanagi shinobi, I am a Konoha ninja, and the teacher is still the Hokage of Konoha. Shiraishi pointed to himself and said, aren't you a shell? Orochimaru stared at Shiraishi for a moment. Suddenly laughed. I thought you already knew my true identity, but I didn't expect to know it. It seems that you are not as smart as I thought. To be honest, I am a little disappointed. Introduce yourself. Orochimaru glanced in the direction of the Hokage building and said, I am Orochimaru, once a ninja of Konoha, and the same teacher as you, but now, I am a Konoha rebel. Since you're from Konoha, you should have heard of my name. Shiraishi shook his head. I haven't heard of it. Orochimaru, for you ordinary people, as long as you don't have an intersection with me, I won't pay attention, so, whether you are a disciple of the old man or not, what you used to have, but now you seem to me to be very ordinary. Very ordinary? Isn't it? Shiraishi said, seriously, you won't necessarily be my opponent now, and the old man hasn't accepted a disciple for a long time. What does that mean? Now you're only at this level, how strong can you be at my age? If you are not an ordinary person, can you still be called a genius? The same as those touted geniuses I met in the Chunin exam? Orochimaru smiled again. Very good competence, very good. In this world, I have seen such a competent person for the first time. I have to admit that your talent is very good, but geniuses are only geniuses, those who can survive will become strong, and there is never a shortage of geniuses in this world. Little ghost, do you know that you are doing something very dangerous? I, Orochimaru, one of the former 3 ninjas. It's not something like you can match. Surrender to me. Only I can make you stronger. Konoha's environment is too decaying, and the ape flying sun chop is already old and confused. This is not the place for people like you to stay. Follow me and leave. I refuse. Shiraishi showed an impatient expression and said, if it's okay, just get out of the way, I'm going back to rest. I've already said this, but you still refuse? Of course no. Shiraishi said, do I have to accept their invitation if a random cat or dog invites me? You people, who are ugly, think beautifully. No 3, no 4? A cat and a dog? The cultivation of the big snake pill could no longer be maintained, and his patience reached the limit, and his face sank. You young imps, who have not experienced the beatings of society, do not understand what despair is. I don't want these ninjas in Konoha to dare do anything to you. Since you have made your choice, bear the price of making that choice. A strange aura was released from the body of the big snake pill. Shiraishi raised his eyebrows. You want to fight me? Fight? The big snake pill smiled and said, it's really naive, the strength is comparable, that is a fight, the strength does not want to be, that is just a one-sided beating, do you understand? Be prepared to beg for mercy at any time, because if you don't ask for mercy in time, maybe I won't have time to stop, and you will die directly under my ninjutsu. You want to kill me? If I could, I would prefer to keep your life, but if you are not willing to submit to me, then I can only kill you. Konoha does not deserve a genius like you. Shiraishi pondered for a moment. I definitely won't go with you. In this world, no one can make me an affiliate, unless this person's talent can be better than me, stronger than me, but you are not in this ranks. There will be no such people in the whole world. So, you're just trying to kill me, aren't you? I know, in that case, then I'm welcome. Shiraishi's words fell, and he immediately sealed at an extremely fast speed. Water escape, water dragon bite burst. As soon as he made a move, it was the ninjutsu on the sealing technique that he had just learned. A pool of water stains appeared at the feet of the big snake pill. Powerful aura fluctuations came from above. The big snake pill changed his face. What is it? The next moment, the water column suddenly burst out, and the powerful impact force made the figure of the big snake pill fly into the air. This force was too strong, wave after wave, so that the big snake pill could not even move. I can only watch myself being constantly attacked. The huge force acted on the body of the big snake pill. The big snake pill felt as if his internal organs were about to shatter. However, this has not stopped, or rather, the wonderful part of this ninjutsu has just begun. After the water current hit the big snake pill, it continued to rise, and countless water streams converged in the sky, fused, and then turned into a dragon, similar to the dragon in the water dragon. But in terms of strength, it is definitely not comparable to water dragon bombs. Water spouts, like lizards. And this water dragon is like a real dragon. A large mouth of blood opened wide. Click. Fiercely bit towards the big snake pill in midair, and the powerful bite force instantly acted on the big snake pill's body. The big snake pill felt that his body seemed to be broken in two. This little ghost, how can he attack ninjutsu so strongly? This is the second generation water escape technique, the water dragon biting explosion technique, right? Doesn't it mean that this little devil basically doesn't know any ninjutsu, except for a vacuum jade, is Narakumi? The big snake pill was puzzled. For his own intelligence channels, Orochimaru felt that there could be no problem. The two have been working together for a long time. There must be something wrong in the middle. Finally, the effect of the water dragon's bite disappeared, and the body of the big snake pill fell to the ground. The moment he landed, countless small snakes came out of the body of the big snake pill. Shiraishi did not chase and kill these little snakes, because Shiraishi could not tell which was the real big snake pill, and chasing and killing these small snakes had no effect except wasting his own chakra. The huge movement immediately attracted the nearby ninjas. Shiraishi? Did you see anything just now? Kakashi looked at Shiraishi. Episode 86, just now I met a person who called himself Orochimaru. Orochimaru? Kakashi's expression suddenly became serious. And then? This guy wanted to recruit me, said some bad things about Konoha, drew me a few cakes, but I refused, and as a result, he became angry and said that he wanted to kill me. I thought about it for a while, and decided to strike first. First strike? Kakashi showed a strange expression. That attack just now, you caused Shiraishi? Yes, the ninjutsu I just learned from the teacher, water escape, water dragon bite, said to be forbidden art. In fact, it is no different from ordinary ninjutsu, it is just a little more powerful. Kakashi analyzed Shiraishi's words. Shiraishi, did you just come out of Naruto-sama? Yes. Kakashi was sure of one thing, that is, even the high-level ninjutsu such as water dun and water dragon bite burst, and the ninjutsu that reached the forbidden level, here in Shiraishi, there is no difficulty at all. As soon as you learn it, you will do it. Although I already know that Shiraishi is a genius among geniuses, I can't help but be surprised. It took a while for Kakashi to come to his senses. Shiraishi, what about the big snake pill now? Turned into a lot of little snakes and ran. Kakashi nodded. Okay, I see, Orochimaru must have taken a fancy to your talent. You should be careful during this time, and contact the patrolling ninjas around you at any time if you find something wrong, or go to the Naruto building. I see. A dark basement. The big snake pill recovered, and his face was a little gloomy. Tuanzong, the information you gave me is not like this little ghost, even mastered ninjutsu such as water dragon bite explosion, you tell me that he will at most be able to Naraku no art and wind escape vacuum jade? Danzo glanced at Orochimaru and wanted to laugh, but held back. You lost? Orochimaru was silent for a while. The real strength, I am definitely stronger than that little ghost, this time I was careless, I didn't expect that the little ghost would take the initiative to attack. And as soon as I made a move, it was such a strong ninjutsu. As I said, Shiraishi is very talented, and all ninjutsu can be learned once. Danzo glanced in the direction where the Hokage building was located and said, when you found Shiraishi, Shiraishi had just come out of the Hokage building, so it should be that Hinata gave this ninjutsu to Shiraishi, but Orochimaru, this is not what we agreed on, right? I just want you to drive a wedge between Shiraishi and Hinata, and you want to recruit Shiraishi yourself. Have you forgotten our agreement? The big snake pill glanced at Tuanzong lightly. Didn't forget. The big snake pill did not explain more. Hopefully you'll remember it forever. Tuanzong took a deep look at the big snake pill. Kakashi immediately arrived at the Hokage building. Naruto-sama. What's wrong? Just now Shiraishi and the big snake pill met. Judging from the description of the white stone, it was the big snake pill who took the initiative to find the white stone. It seems that he wanted to recruit the white stone, and after being rejected by the white stone, he became angry. But Shiraishi chose to strike first, and used a water escape on the big snake pill, and the water dragon bit and burst. Ape Fairy frowned. What happened in the village just now? Is Shiraishi using ninjutsu? Yes. What about the big snake pill? Already ran. Kakashi said. Shiraishi failed to leave the big snake pill, and after being attacked, because of the huge movement of the water dragon bite, the big snake pill knew that someone would definitely come, so he left immediately. It has become a lot of snakes, and Shiraishi can't judge it. Sarutobi nodded. I didn't expect that what this guy said in Shiraishi turned out to be true. After reading the scroll, he even learned forbidden arts, and he successfully hit the big snake pill, which is really good. The big snake pill is also a disciple of Ape Flying Sun Slash, and he is also a proud disciple. But Orochimaru betrayed Konoha. For the big snake pill, Ape Flying Sun Chopping has mixed emotions. Now hearing that Shiraishi's ninjutsu hit the big snake pill, Sarutobi Richo inexplicably felt a little happy, as well as proud. Comprehensive strength. Shiraishi should not be the opponent of the big snake pill, but Shiraishi now has the water escape, the water dragon bites the explosion, the earth escape, the earth diving voyage. The big snake pill wants to defeat the white stone. It is not so easy. Sarutobi looked at Kakashi. Kakashi, this period is a critical period for the Chunin exam, and if Orochimaru hadn't left, he would definitely take advantage of this opportunity to continue to make trouble. Now in the village, there are too many people from outside. Let everyone pay attention to vigilance and never slack. Yes. Shiraishi had just returned home. Two figures appeared outside the courtyard gate. Naruto and Sakura. Shiraishi, congratulations on our success in passing the second exam and converging in the final. Naruto was excited. Thank you for giving us the opportunity. I know that we are different. Shiraishi glanced outside. Just the two of you? What about Sasuke? Sasuke has a little problem and is recuperating. At the mention of Sasuke, Naruto's mood dropped a bit. But soon Sasuke will recover. In the future, we will all train hard. Shiraishi, don't relax this month, otherwise I will be able to catch up with you soon. Impossible. Shiraishi shook his head and said, there is no hope at all, and the chance of 1 in 10,000 is impossible, except for one situation. What's the situation? Naruto's eyes lit up. Daydreaming. Naruto. Sakura hesitated and asked, Shiraishi, you are the best among us, who do you think will win the exam in a month? Help us predict. Sakura, you will lose. Sasuke's words, it's not easy to judge, both of them have advantages and disadvantages. Naruto's words, there is a high probability of winning. Naruto became excited when he heard this. Really? It seems that Shiraishi, you also think that I am strong. Actually, I think your opponent is too weak. That's the same, don't care about these details. Naruto waved his hand and said, by the way, Shiraishi, do you have any training plans this month? Yes. What is it like? Did Grandpa Naruto teach you personally? It's not. Shiraishi said, I just trained in the training ground for 3 days, and the next 27 days we're all resting, because as long as he trains for 3 days, Shiraishi can reach the limit of the current limiter. More training is also ineffective. In that case, it is better to spend the rest of the time on obtaining talent points. 3 days? Rest? That's right, because the opponent is you, so 3 days of training is enough. Naruto. Sakura. No EQ event trigger, talent +4. Episode 87, the next day. Ahem. Kakashi looked at Naruto and Sakura. In this Zonin exam, you all performed very well, but your opponents are stronger, and those 3 sand ninja were the first squad to go to the central area and defeated many strong opponents. Naruto raised his hand. Kakashi-sensei, will they be stronger than Shiraishi? Nope. Kakashi hesitated. If before, Kakashi might not have thought that Shiraishi would have had a 100% chance of winning. However, after learning that Shiraishi had learned the ninjutsu of water escape and the water dragon biting this ninjutsu, Kakashi really did not think that any of those Naka shinobi would be Shiraishi's opponents. Even Kakashi himself did not dare to guarantee that he would win against Shiraishi. Shiraishi's strength is already a proper level of tolerance. And it's also the kind that is extremely good among the upper shinobi. That's okay. Naruto said, I thought they would be so powerful, since they are not as good as Shiraishi, then there is no need to worry. Kakashi. Naruto's blind confidence made Kakashi lose his mind for a moment. Naruto, now you are far from Shiraishi's opponent, and even those few sand ninjas, to be honest, the strength they showed in the middle ninja exam is much stronger. Therefore, this month, you must seriously train. I found you all teachers. Sakura was a little puzzled. Kakashi-sensei, didn't you train especially? Not me. Kakashi shook his head and said, I have limited energy alone and can't tutor all three of you at the same time, so I found a great teacher for each of you individually. Soon, Naruto and Sakura saw the helper Kakashi was looking for. One is Ebisu. Especially forbearant, its own strength is not strong, but it is very successful in basic teaching. On Sakura's side, it's Sunset Red. Shiraishi came to the training ground. It will take another 3 days to reach the limit. Suddenly, Shiraishi sensed a line of sight. Wind escape, vacuum jade. A vacuum jade shot in this direction at an extremely fast speed. Sand. A cloud of fine sand falls to the ground. Shiraishi raised his eyebrows. In this way, the identity of the other party, Shiraishi has already guessed. There is only one person who can use sand like this, and that is Iai Luo of Shine Village. That's it? Shiraishi shook his head and returned to the training ground. Kakashi-sensei, you're late. Kakashi looked up. Sasuke looked at Kakashi condescendingly, and the aura on his body became much darker than before. Kakashi knew what had happened to Sasuke in the Forest of Death and didn't say anything. So, let's start training today. You've practiced to this level, it's time to learn some powerful ninjutsu. It just so happens that your chakra attribute is a thunder attribute, and the chakra attribute changes, you have already learned. I will teach you Chidori. This ninjutsu is a huge drain on chakra, so if you want to use it, you must hit, otherwise it will be completely meaningless, and you will also put yourself in the disadvantage of chakra. It will work better with your Sharingan. Sasuke nodded. Good. But the Yin aura on Sasuke's body did not dissipate. Kakashi thought for a moment, but did not expect any words of relief to Sasuke, because Kakashi himself was not a good communicator, because Kakashi's childhood was equally tragic. At such a young age, my father committed suicide because of something like that. Suddenly, Kakashi thought of something. That is, in this Forest of Death, the big snake pill who tortured Sasuke to death, was hit by Shiraishi's water dragon bite, and did not cause any damage to Shiraishi. Sasuke, after training, I suggest you go and find Shiraishi. Hearing Shiraishi's name, Sasuke's eyes lit up. I see. Sasuke nodded. A faint flame lit in Sasuke's heart. If only I had the talent of Shiraishi. Naruto looked at Ebisu in front of him and couldn't stop looking. You are the temporary teacher Kakashi-sensei found for me? That's right, you are Naruto. I heard Kakashi say about you, your foundation is much weaker compared to other shinobi, but this is exactly what I am good at. As long as you follow me to learn for a while, you can catch up with others right away. Naruto shook his head suspiciously. But I don't think you're very strong. Ebisu? Before Ebisu felt that Shiraishi was already the most problematic teenager he could encounter, but after contact, Ebisu was relieved, because Shiraishi's talent could indeed support Shiraishi to say those words and do things like that. But Naruto in front of him actually directly questioned his strength. What is this called? Without Shiraishi's life, he got Shiraishi disease. And more severe than Shiraishi's. So Ebisu couldn't bear it anymore. Naruto, what do you mean by that? Naruto met Ebisu's gaze straight and said, since you are a teacher, then you should be very powerful, let's compare and see how it goes. If you can catch me, I will listen to you in everything. I refuse. Ebisu pushed his glasses and said, I was invited by Kakashi-senpai to help, and since you don't want me to teach it, then I don't teach it. It's nothing to lose for me, and as for Naruto, you can only train by yourself, so if it goes on, maybe you won't even be Sakura's opponent in a month. I'm really looking forward to it. Ebisu turned and walked outside. Hearing these words, Naruto was anxious. Senior, I'm sorry, I shouldn't have questioned you, I apologize, I admit my mistake. Really realized that I was wrong? I really realized. Okay, for Kakashi's sake, I forgive you. I'll look at your foundation first. Where you need to improve, I will tell you directly and accompany you to training. Naruto asked while showing a situation, Sensei, do you know what kind of training Kakashi-sensei is doing to Sasuke? What about Sakura's side? I don't know, that's not something I should care about. Then teacher, do you have any particularly powerful ninjutsu? Nope. Then teacher, do you have any special ways to improve quickly? Nope. Then how did you become a teacher? Again? Ebisu raised an eyebrow. Teacher, I'm sorry. Naruto saw that Ebisu looked wrong and quickly apologized. Okay, your main problem now is that chakra's control ability is not good. I will take you to a place suitable for cultivating this ability, follow me. Naruto followed behind Ebisu and kept looking. All the way to a small stream. The two stopped. Episode 88, Shiraishi. Shiraishi had just returned home from a day of training and took a shower when he heard a knock on the door. It's Sasuke. Shiraishi glanced at the sky. It was already evening. Is there something going on? I have a few questions for you. Please? Yes, but you should know that asking me for advice is not free. A month of cleaning? Now I don't need to clean. Shiraishi hesitated for a moment and said, well, it just so happens that I haven't had dinner tonight, so if you invite me to dinner, it will be regarded as a reward for your advice. How about it? I'm going to eat seafood. No problem. Sasuke immediately agreed. Unlike Naruto, Sasuke is much richer, even if the Uchiha family is gone, but Sasuke still gets a lot of inheritance from the family. Money, not a problem. Let's go then. After entering the restaurant, Sasuke deliberately chose a private room. Shiraishi, you order. Good. Shiraishi is not polite, he ordered everything he wanted, and the price was not cheap. After a while, the dish was served. Sasuke glanced at Shiraishi, who was eating happily. Shiraishi, do you want to become stronger? Think. Then if there is a path in front of you that can make you stronger at a very fast speed, even stronger than your own talent limit, but with a certain danger, will you choose? Nope. Won't it? Why? Because you don't need to. Shiraishi said, do you think anyone can help me with this? Sasuke didn't expect this answer, and was stunned for a moment. Can't even Naruto-sama? You said old man? Shiraishi said, the old man never taught me anything, just gave me 2 ninjutsu. What ninjutsu? A soil escape, a water escape. Shiraishi paused for a moment and said, and isn't it very simple to become stronger? With training, you can improve your physique and spirit, raise the foundation, and learn a few ninjutsu that suit you. Won't you become stronger? Where do you need someone to teach? Sasuke. If it were really that simple, I wouldn't be so entangled and distressed. Shiraishi, I don't know if you've heard of it, our entire family of Uchiha, except me, all the people have been killed, and it is my own brother who killed them. Saying that, Sasuke's fists clenched tightly, and his nails dug into the flesh. And the eyes also become red. I can't understand why he did it. Obviously, we get along so well, we are such a perfect and happy family, but everything was destroyed by him, and he killed so many people. And our father and mother. Unforgivable. I really want to kill him. Avenge your parents. Sasuke looked up. However, he is a genius, his talent is much better than mine, no matter how hard I try, I find that I can't catch up with him. If I stay in Konoha and study step by step, I may not be his opponent for the rest of my life, and I can't take revenge. Now there is an opportunity in front of me. Sasuke glanced in the direction of the doorway. In this Naka Shinobi exam, I met a person in the Forest of Death, a very special person, one of the 3 shinobi, who has defected from Konoha's rebel shinobi, Orochimaru. He promised to give me the power of revenge, and the price was that I would be the vessel of his rebirth. These words, I dare not say to others, I can only ask you. Shiraishi, what do you think I should choose? These words Sasuke didn't even say Kakashi, Naruto. Because Sasuke felt that Kakashi and Naruto couldn't help themselves. But Shiraishi is different. In the end, Sasuke had a feeling that the white stone that had grown up was probably much more powerful than Orochimaru, and much more powerful than Uchiha Itachi. Therefore, Sasuke wanted to ask Shiraishi's opinion on this issue. If you take revenge, this thing is actually very easy to do, you must surpass the other party in strength. Doesn't the ninja world have a prop called an explosive talisman? Collect tens of thousands, even if the other party is a shadow, as long as there is no special ability, it can be blown up. In addition to the explosive charm, there are many tools that can be used, as well as people. Sasuke shook his head. I don't want to take revenge in this way, I want to use my own strength, defeat him with dignity, complete revenge, and personally question him why he did that back then. Shiraishi took a bite of sashimi. If you stay in Konoha, can you become stronger than the person you want to take revenge on? It's hard to say, but the person of Orochimaru is actually not very reliable and untrustworthy. To say that he can make you have stronger power than your enemy and surpass your own limits, I think the possibility is not very large, the probability is to lie to you. Sasuke's eyes flickered. Shiraishi, have you seen the Great Snake Pill? I've seen it. Shiraishi nodded and said, after the Forest of Death exam, the next day, I went to the Hokage building to learn 2 ninjutsu, and on the way back I ran into Orochimaru. He himself said that he is a big snake pill. I didn't know him before, even if he is not a man or a woman, his body still exudes a perverted aura all the time. Sasuke thought back and nodded. That's right, this is it. That's it. Shiraishi said, this guy wanted to recruit me, but I didn't know him, so he boasted, told me about his situation, how powerful Yun was, and painted me cakes. Draw bread? It's meaningless kind, fooling people. Shiraishi waved his hand, I rejected him, he actually wanted to kill me, so I could only strike first, and hit him into the sky with a shot of ninjutsu, the ninjutsu I just learned, he couldn't even dodge. Sasuke's eyes widened for a moment. And then? In the corner of the ground, a small snake had a thick resentment. Just learned ninjutsu? Is that normal ninjutsu? That's a water dragon bite. Senjutsu's signature ninjutsu. Where is it so easy to hide? And then the guy ran away. Suddenly, Sasuke was disappointed with Orochimaru. Judging from Shiraishi's description, Sasuke no longer felt how strong the Great Snake Pill was. And thinking back to the scene of the Forest of Death, Sasuke felt that he was too weak. Because I am too weak, I lose my sense of proportion and judgment when I meet a strong person. Shiraishi, I know, thank you. Sasuke suddenly felt that his choice to come to Shiraishi today was extremely correct. The Big Snake Pill is so unbearable, it is impossible to help himself take revenge. What power, limit, is a lie. Episode 89, Baishar paused and said, but if you talk about comprehensive strength, the one named Big Snake Pill should be stronger than me, but not much, but he's already very old. Since he is also a disciple of the old man, and the old man has not accepted a disciple for a long time, maybe he is older than Sasuke and your father. After so many years, I have only such a little strength, and I am sorry to say that it can help me become stronger. It's a joke. What is this like? A crane-tailed student, after graduation, became a teacher, do you think he can teach well? The little snake in the corner fell into autism again. Crane-tail? Back then, I was also a first-class genius. No worse than you little devil, what I lack is only the blood succession limit. It's blood. This world itself is unfair, there is no blood succession limit, and the upper limit of a lifetime is only so high. Orochimaru couldn't help but think back to Uchiha Itachi. That little ghost, is the talent good? Is it hard? Neither. It's just because he has a chakra eye. When Orochimaru meets Uchiha Itachi in the Shao organization and is defeated by Uchiha Itachi. At that moment, the three views of the Great Snake Pill were refreshed. Before, the Big Snake Pill did not think that his strength was weak, and the Big Snake Pill only pursued a longer life, and would conduct various human experiments to study ways to extend life. The one who has his sights on Uchiha? That was after meeting Uchiha Itachi. Otherwise, Orochimaru would steal a few pairs of Sharingan on the night of Uchiha's extermination, or get a few pairs from Danzo's hands, and there has been a secret transaction between the two. The intercolumn cells on Tuanzang's body, as well as the Sharingan, were transplanted with the help of the Big Snake Pill. It's just that before, there were not many excellent chakra eyes. A Uchiha spot. But Uchiha is too special. The other one is Uchiha Senna. But Izumi died too early, and the Big Snake Pill had not touched it at all. After that, Uchiha stopped the water, and obtained the name of an instant stop water. At that time, the Big Snake Pill had defected. Shortly after the fourth generation took office, Orochimaru defected. So Uchiha's strength to stop the water, the Big Snake Pill is not clear. There is also a Uchiha belt soil. But Obito hides his identity. It can be said that before the appearance of Uchiha Itachi, Orochimaru did not see the Sharingan very much, and felt that the Sharingan and the white eye might be a similar thing. It wasn't until Uchiha Itachi appeared that Orochimaru paid attention to Sharingan and set his sights on Sasuke. On the one hand, I want to get the Sharingan. On the other hand, he wants to take revenge on Uchiha Itachi. Konoha Ninja School. Iruka sneezed. Hey, who's saying bad things about me behind my back? Iruka looked blankly out the window. But nothing was found. Shiraishi continued, half a year, it may not take half a year, my strength will surpass the Great Snake Pill, this is a 100% sure thing, just this, he also said, can he help me become stronger? Do you think he can be trusted? Why would I need someone weaker than me to help me become stronger? He can't even see this, what use do you say he has? Sasuke nodded. Shiraishi, thank you, after listening to what you said, I understood more. Sasuke now has no expectations for Orochimaru, and he was moved because he suddenly saw someone who was very strong in Orochimaru, and Sasuke saw the hope of revenge from Orochimaru's body. After all, the reputation of the Great Snake Pill is here, and he is one of the famous three ninjas. Much stronger than Kakashi. However, after hearing Shiraishi's evaluation, Sasuke did not think that Orochimaru was that strong. Since Shiraishi said that he could surpass Orochimaru in half a year, then Sasuke believed that this must be true. Sasuke and Shiraishi had not been in contact for a short time, knowing that Shiraishi never lied. And also will not talk big. Many words with mocking meaning, in Shiraishi's mouth, are actually not mockery. Because for Shiraishi, these are often facts. Let the Big Snake Pill help me become stronger, then it is better to consult Shiraishi in the future. After all, Shiraishi will be stronger than the Great Snake Pill. I don't have to take that much risk to find a weak person. Shiraishi may put forward a lot of conditions, but Shiraishi will not deliberately make things difficult for me, nor will it bring great danger. Sasuke just thought for a moment before making a decision. Because it's not hard to choose. Shiraishi gestured to the waiter outside. After the waiter pushed the door in, he reached out and pointed to the menu. Here are these again. Okay. Shiraishi, haven't you eaten yet? Eat enough. So what are you? Sasuke looked in front of him, because his mind was too heavy, he almost didn't eat anything. Did you order it for me? Thinking of this, Sasuke couldn't help but be a little moved. It's not. Shiraishi shook his head and said, I ordered these to be packed and taken away. Sasuke. No EQ event trigger, talent +6. But immediately, Sasuke was relieved. Because this is Shiraishi. This is the real genius. Waiter. Sasuke was in a much better mood, pointed to the menu, and said, I'm giving me these, please hurry up, I'm a little hungry. Okay, please wait a minute, I'll be right away. The little snake in the corner slowly left. Shiraishi, thank you so much today. Shiraishi waved his hand. It's just a deal. Carrying a bag, Shiraishi returned home, closed the courtyard door, entered the house, the doors and windows were locked. Shiraishi came to the door of a room and knocked lightly. It's me, Shiraishi. A metallic clash sounded. Phosphorus poked a head out of it. Shiraishi, you're finally back. Xiangfo showed a somewhat mournful expression, and weakly dragged his body to move. Did you bring me something to eat? I'm dying, give. Shiraishi handed over the bag in his hand. Wow, that's a lot. Shiraishi, thank you. Shiraishi shook his head and said, you're welcome, since you are already my maid, then feeding you this maid is what I, the master, should do. In a few days, I will go talk to the old man and confirm your identity. In the future, you can be honest and appear in the village. Xiangfo nodded repeatedly. Thank you, Shiraishi. Soon, 3 days passed. Shiraishi came out of the training ground. This stage of cultivation is over, and now I have completely reached the limit of the current limiter. Here's ninjutsu. Research how to use it better. Shiraishi found a relatively secretive, empty area. Episode 90, Wind Escape, Vacuum Jade. Shiraishi aimed at a tree. Poof. Lost in the trunk. A small hole appears. Tuduan, the art of diving in the soil. A burst of chakra flowed into Shiraishi's feet. After that, the ground under Shiraishi's feet softened, and Shiraishi moved slightly, and his figure entered the soil. The whole person sank into the dirt. Not long after, Shiraishi came out. It's similar to diving, but the resistance will be greater, and the air in the dirt is thin and you can't stay in the soil for a long time unless you have a stable source of oxygen. Shiraishi shook his head. This ninjutsu Shiraishi is not very attractive. The disadvantages are more obvious. Under certain harsh circumstances, it can be useful. Unless, you can get advanced. But Shiraishi hesitated, still did not plan to use 1000 talent points on this ninjutsu. At the current stage, Shiraishi felt that it might strengthen the vacuum jade and help him more. Talent points are still more than 100 points short. Suddenly, a breathless sound came into Shiraishi's ears. Shiraishi looked over. One thing, hiding in the bushes, and on the opposite side of the bushes, were several coolly dressed women. Shiraishi picks up a stone from the ground. Bang! Threw it at once. Who? A figure jumped out of it. Long white hair, green clothes, and a red cape over it. Jiraiya rubbed his head and glared at Shiraishi. Little ghost, what are you doing? Upholding justice. Justice? Shiraishi pointed to the women on the opposite side and said, weren't you peeking at them just now? They are all so old, they are still addicted to women, and they are not on the right path. Jiraiya's old face turned red. Who said that? I didn't peek, I was just taking material. Material? Yes, I am a famous best-selling novelist. Since we are so fated, how about I send you a copy of my book, Today's Events, as if nothing happened. Don't. Shiraishi glanced at the book that Jiraiya had handed over. The material is taken in this obscene way, and what is written must be more unbearable. So what do you want? Zilai also said, you are also a ninja, as long as you don't say it, I will teach you a very powerful ninjutsu. How about it? Ninjutsu, just you? Baishiru glanced at Zilai suspiciously. What's wrong with me? Jiraiya raised his chin and said, do you know who I am? I am one of the 3 shinobi of Konoha, the famous toad immortal, and I am also a toad. And then? And then? Zilai was also stunned and said, haven't you heard of me? Is Konoha so forgetful now? Shiraishi shook his head and said, maybe others will know, but I don't care about these useless people. Speaking of Sanshin, I met a person who called himself Orochimaru last time. Orochimaru? Jiraiya's eyes narrowed slightly. What is your relationship with the Great Snake Pill? It doesn't matter. Shiraishi said, that guy said something very strange, probably to praise how powerful he is, just like you just now. He still wants to recruit me and make me his subordinate. I thought about it for a moment, and then gave him a shot of ninjutsu. And then? And then he ran. Shiraishi shrugged his shoulders and said, I have to say that this guy's ability to escape is still very strong. turning into countless small snakes. I can't tell which one is really him. Zilai also analyzed it, but did not think that Shiraishi was powerful, but felt that Shiraishi used ninjutsu to create movement, attracting the movement of Western Zhou, and the big snake pill left. Because of this, you don't think he's strong, so you think I'm not strong either? Doesn't that still explain? Shiraishi said, since you are the same person under the same nickname, then the level of the two of you should be almost the same, but he should be a little better than that. Jiraiya raised his eyebrows. Better than me? Why, it can be seen from the appearance, although the big snake pill is not male or female, he looks young, and you look old. Shiraishi paused. By the way, you shouldn't be so old, still single, no wonder. This sentence poked at the pain point of Zilai. What do you know? I yearn for freedom, why should I give up the whole forest for a tree, so that I wouldn't do such a thing? How wonderful it is to have the feeling of having a forest. Hee, this self-comforting word is really skillful, have you said it many times? Jiraiya. You little ghost, why are you talking so angry? Say, what exactly do you want? Shiraishi thought for a moment. If you can bring me something suitable so that I don't see anything, it's okay, but to be honest, I don't think you can take it. You say, at least you talk about it. I need a moderately damaging ninjutsu. Shiraishi now has two more typical offensive ninjutsu. Vacuum Jade and Water Dragon Bite Burst. The former is a C-grade ninjutsu. And the latter is S-class and even on the Book of Seals. Now Shiraishi lacks a medium damaging ninjutsu, if there is, it can be used together, making Shiraishi's means much richer, although only one more ninjutsu. But with one more ninjutsu, there can be many, many combinations. Medium hurtful ninjutsu? Jiraiya thought about it. Speaking of which, I don't know your name yet. Name? Do you want to take revenge on me afterwards? Of course not, to take revenge on you, I will do it now, where do I need it later? Now you take revenge on me, and immediately the whole village will know about you hiding in the bushes and spying on girls. Jiraiya stared at Shiraishi deadly. Finally. Sighed. I can guarantee that I will never retaliate against you, my teacher. It is the third generation of Hokage, since you have seen the Great Snake Pill, then you should know that I am different from the Great Snake Pill, I did not defect. If you encounter something wrong, you can go to the 3 generations of presiding at any time to do justice. Shiraishi hesitated. Okay, I barely trust you, my name is Aoki Shiraishi. Aoki Shiraishi? Zilai was also stunned for a moment. You are the new disciple of Sarutobi-sensei, Aoki Shiraishi? That's not right. Since you are a disciple of teacher Ape Fei, then how can you not know that I, according to the generation, I am still your senior brother? Didn't Sarutobi-sensei ever mention me in front of you? Shiraishi shook his head. Nope. Zilai also couldn't help but have some resentment in his heart.